Open Your Eyes is brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.
And welcome to Open Your Eyes.
Start your morning right. I am John Palacio.
And I'm Marlene Cuellar, and thank you for joining us this morning.
It's a lovely Wednesday morning, Marlene.
Hump
it's
day.
looking great outside. Oh, well, you know what?
Before the eve of the Christmas break.
Christmas break?
I meant Easter break.
No, I actually the eve before the even
Eve before the
I'll tell you
eve.
what, there are a lot of people actually looking forward to that little time off. Maybe not going anywhere, but maybe staying right there at home. But I think it's very necessary, especially with respect to what we're going through mentally, having to deal with COVID, having to deal with a tough economy, having to deal with family members who might have had COVID. So there's so many things, and it seemed that from the conversations that I've had, people are actually looking forward to this time. So there's so many things to look forward to within our country. But we know the season is here in terms of all the breeze and all the not rain, sunshine. We know that's happening.
Yeah.
And that brings forth great fruit in our country, because we're seasonal in terms of fruit bearing and whatnot. And that's a good thing. So much so, Marlene, that there's actually a guy on Facebook, and this is actually trending. What he's doing is that he's going across the country selling green mangoes.
Yeah, I spot that one, and I'm like, where is he? Where can I find him? That just looks delicious. And it's not just selling mangoes, selling green mangoes, cut up with pepper, and has buckets of them.
When you say green mangoes, pepper, you get that feeling in your mouth, like, okay, your mouth start water.
Yeah.
But that's what he's doing. He's actually Janelle Diego. He's selling mangoes all across the country. This guy gets in a bus and he just goes.
Boat.
It doesn't matter. But see, this is what you call anything to make sure, but a life, an honest living, an honest way of living, but he's actually going across the country doing that. And I think this is one of the effects of COVID, whereby you try anything to make sure that some money comes into the home.
Yeah, so he sells them by the cups, which is, so much more helpful for you to be able to have your stash and take it home. He caught our attention when we realized that people were waiting him in San Pedro, because he announced that he was going to go to San Pedro, and people were waiting him there for some green mango with pepper. Look at that. Who does not want that? But yeah, it's another great example we found of people who are really tapping into that ingenuity and their entrepreneurship skills to be able to earn a living.
Look at that.
This is mango season, and everybody's looking for the ripe ones, but we all love that green mango. And all right, tell me, right? That's like what do they call it? Food porn? You just want to eat it. No.
Look at that habanero pepper.
Yeah, so that's one of the things we found trending on Facebook that we just thought was really cool. Wanted to give him a shout out and say kudos to you, and definitely let us know when you're going to be in Belize City. I'm sure you got some shoppers here at Channel 5 as well. So the name is Janelle Diego, and the advertising is a small business. He's just online, so you can follow him there and find out when he's going to be in your neck of the woods.
Look, use your creativity. There are so many things that we've seen. Actually, young children now in the kitchen. Young children cooking food, or of course with adult supervision, with their parent supervision, young children or young kids actually making pastries, and they're now selling. But one of the things that we continue to preach, or continue to talk about, is to support each other, and how big support can be, or how great things can be if we continue to support each other with entrepreneurship, which brings forth additional jobs. So there's so many things that can be done. But I'd like to say kudos to Janelle Diego, man. Excellent work there.
Look at that, right?
Yeah.
So You know, I mean, who
Buckets.
doesn't love their green mango, the things that come around in the season? You had your sapra yet?
I don't have separate. My
Come
goodness.
on.
I haven't had it as yet. Like, seriously. And this is the time.
Yeah.
And oof, my goodness. And supra is an explosion in the mouth when you put that in.
Yeah.
Like, what, you want next one?
I was trying to explain to my niece, who is, she's 5 now, about sapra, and she's like, I don't know if I'm going to like it. Because I'm like, well, it's sour. But that meant I didn't have to share, right?
Yeah.
So kind of
there
a
we
good
go.
thing there.
There we go.
But of course, there are other reasons to be happy for today. One being that yesterday, our Belize Jaguars were successful in the game against the Turks and Caicos.
I watched the game yesterday, and I've got to say, I was impressed with how the team is able to play or to keep the ball. It was like somewhere around a 60% to 40% ball possession, meaning that we kept the ball for the most part, and we had so many attempts to score. As a matter of fact, the Belize Jaguars scored 5 goals against the Turks and Caicos Islands. They gave kudos. Listening to the coach in the press afterwards, he gave kudos to the team and said, he's really impressed with the team as well. The thing about their team, though, they had 3 of their biggest players who were not able to make the squad simply because of the COVID protocols. So, but nonetheless, we went out there and we took care of business, and that's primarily what we needed to do.
That's right.
Their next match is going to be against a team, though, in the likes of Nicaragua, who gave Turks and Caicos 7-0. And they were at a strong team at that particular point. That game is going to be on June 4th, and time and where is still to be determined. So we're looking forward to that as well, and we do throw all our support behind the Belize Jaguars.
That's right. So 5-0. That, I'm sure it's a great boost of confidence for them after their experience in Haiti, not just the game, but all that they went through. So they can enjoy it, and they can know that we are proud of them.
Definitely.
But also today, of course, we are living in a pandemic, and today's another big day in our progress in getting our way out of the situation that we're in. There's going to be the first shipment of COVAX vaccines arriving in the country. So that's going to be happening today at 11. It'll be live right here on Channel 5. And you'll be able to see the plane touch down, those very important vaccines being unloaded, and hearing from officials. Now, COVAX, of course, is one of the facilities that we were really, we've been waiting on for quite some time. And we were able to get our first 26,000 vaccines through donations from Barbados and India. But this, of course, was one that is a global effort to be able to ensure that there's equitable access to vaccines across the country, and not just the wealthy countries getting all the vaccinations first, as could have easily happened.
Definitely.
So COVAX really allows countries like Belize to be able to get access. So the first shipment is going to be 33,000, a bit over 33,000, and that's 33,000 out of the over 100,000 that we will get in total.
All right. I'll tell you what, it brings a ray of hope. It continues to bring a ray of hope to the Belizean people because everybody, well, not everybody, but at the same time, for majority people, knows that with vaccines come that ray of hope, comes a better economy, and comes, I wouldn't want to say a start of a regular or normal life. I don't think it's going to be normal as we once knew it. But at the same time, I also think that we are actually, we're actually getting used to what it is now. There are a few people who might think otherwise, and that's totally okay. But at the same time, with the vaccine rollout going on, we want for folks to understand that you need to take care of you to take care of others. Simply means that you should take your vaccine. I think we're at phase 2. With
yes,
respect
we
to,
are at
with
phase
respect
2,
to the
and I know we're over
rollout.
20,000 vaccinated as of earlier this week. So it means that we've almost exhausted that whole first donation that we got. So this comes right in time, and we'll get more details as to what they plan to do with that 33,000. I'm sure some of it is going to be reserved for second dose for group 1, which are healthcare workers and elderly, but we'll get those details today.
Definitely.
It is a big day, and definitely another achievement for us in being able to see the progress we are making.
Definitely.
And while we're on that, we definitely want to echo the call of all health officials, everyone across the world, who are saying, please get vaccinated. It's so important. You know, the light at the end of the tunnel comes with vaccination. And, you know, I got my first dose, and it was, what is it, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks now? 2 weeks already.
2 weeks ago, yes.
Yeah, so, you know, I had nothing but just a little sore arm at the injection site, nothing else. The majority of our team here at Channel 5, they've been vaccinated, so we are happy to at least be on our way to some level of protection. And most importantly, that I can protect loved ones as well.
Yeah. You know, and I think, you know, especially hearing it from you, we know for a fact that that is the way to go. And if you want to take care of your loved ones, then you need to take care of you, which simply means going out to get the vaccine. We need to continue to build that ray of hope. I do want to say kudos, though, to the Belizean public for adhering to the rules, adhering to the laws. So far, for those of us who are, we continue to see, of course, cases rearing its head, of course, but there are also a lot of recoveries. We're not at an all-time high level, but I'll tell you what, we've got our neighbors who we could see things actually beginning to step up again. Yeah. And we'd like for folks to take heed of this. Now, one of the things that we could always do is to go online and you read news from your neighboring countries as to how they're dealing with the coronavirus situation. And you'll see the kind of job that we're doing in our country. You make a comparison and know for a fact that we're doing what we have to do to make sure that everybody is safe.
That's right. Mm-hmm. All right, so do keep that in mind, and we do want to keep on telling you, please ensure that, especially as Easter comes around, you maintain all the health protocols, the safety protocols that we've been doing. The social distancing, the mask wearing, the hand washing. Ensure that you are keeping yourself and your family safe, because we are not out of the pandemic. We just have less cases, but always remember that it's the asymptomatic people that are the ones who are going to spread the virus. And so you never know who has it. You never know who may be spreading it. So just keep all the caution that we had from March of last year into this Easter break as well.
Definitely. I've spoken to folks who've gotten it already, and they will tell you the stories of how tough it could be. But it simply means that we need to continue to take care of each other.
All right. So remember that the live broadcast of the arrival of the first shipment of COVAX vaccine airs live right here on Channel 5 at 11 a.m.
All right.
We're going to keep things moving this morning, get into some motivation, and that means it's time for Eye Opener. And our Eye Opener for today goes like this. When we only associate with like-minded people, there often isn't any room to grow, because new ideas aren't being introduced. We tend to gravitate toward people who are the most like us, at least in the ways that make us feel comfortable. But life has its way of bringing us into contact with people who challenge us with their differences. It may be an obvious difference, but even in our closest circle of friends and family, there are those that confront us with their different ways of experiencing and expressing life. We can choose to resist, but we can also choose to learn from them and appreciate that they too have a place in the kaleidoscope of life. We will always run into people that are different than we are, but the true challenge may be finding ways to be at peace with this process. Rather than give in to the fight or flight response that comes from our animal nature, we can find ways to evolve together, embracing and celebrating the beauty of diversity and the strength it offers for the future.
You ever been asked the question, you're so cool, what's your star sign? You remind me of me.
No.
You've never been asked that? So, this reminds me of that, whereby somebody would say, most Aries, because we've got similarities, especially in what we say. And then you meet them again and you tend to gravitate to them because that is the person who you find with similarities of you. Now, one of the things I like about the Eye Opener is that it says you're not able to, or not just fit yourself with those who you're comfortable with. At times you'll meet people who are totally different, but you're not able to change them. What you need to do is to change your approach to them and your mindset so you're able to accept them. You can learn from everyone that is around you. Whether it's those that you always are always around and say that, you know what, they're just like you, or those who may not be like you. Because when you get into circles that are not like you, you are able to change your mindset to actually accept them within your life. Marlene, I always say this and I wrap minds up with this. Everybody is everybody's asset. It doesn't matter who you are, where you are, and what you do. But for me, that's how I find my comfort.
No, such an important eye-opener, and a critical reminder. And I think that, you know, the reason I don't really follow horoscopes is because I'm a Virgo, and I have lots of Virgos in my family. And we are very different.
Indeed.
So I've seen firsthand growing up, you know, they're very little similarities.
I share that.
But I think looking in the larger scope of things, you don't even realize that you're just gravitating to the same people like you. You know, if you maybe are a naturally optimistic person, you want to keep optimistic people around you. If you are someone who likes sports or like one particular thing, and you don't even realize how you start excluding people because they just have a totally different opinion.
Yeah.
They may not have your same religious belief. They may not, and the real controversial stuff I'm talking about, they may not share your same political beliefs. They may not have a particular outlook that matches yours. And it's a very concerning situation when you isolate yourself with only those who share your same beliefs, because it's not universal. Not everybody thinks like you, and people have really different opinions, belief systems, value systems, and the best way to be able to really move forward is when you have them all included. It's why we talk about you know, diversity, whether it's ethnic or racial. It's why we talk about ensuring that there's equality when it comes to genders. So, you know, a man can't make all the decisions for women because you don't know what it's like to be a woman. And so it's the same thing. And it expands beyond things like what race you are and what sex you are. It expands as well into just the way you see the world and the way that you think. It's a challenge when somebody comes at you with something completely different. But you got to embrace it, and you have to see that as that's just one more person adding to the beautiful tapestry that we have in this world, where we're all different and we come together and make it the human race that it is.
And I'll sum up mine again by
we got to go to weather.
Oh, so let's get to the weather.
You can ask Crystal about it. She's on the line.
Crystal, good morning.
Good morning.
And all right, I'll tell you what, we're not going to waste a lot of your time. Let's get into it. The general situation, what are we experiencing?
Okay, relatively moist easterly air flow prevails over the area.
All right, and in the 24-hour forecast?
Sunny with a few cloudy spells today and partly cloudy tonight. A few showers will develop mainly over the south, while activity will be isolated elsewhere.
All right, so our winds, what should we expect there?
The winds will be from the east at 10 to 20 knots, and sea conditions will be choppy.
All right. So let's talk about those temperatures over the past few. That's been very hot. What should we expect in the highs and lows today?
Today will be 88 along the coast, 95 inland, and 75 in the mountains.
All right. Lows for tonight?
Tonight will be 76 along the coast, 70 inland, and 65 in the hills.
All right. And just before we conclude with the outlook, are there any watches or anything like that?
At the moment, no.
All right. So the extended forecast then?
Similar conditions are expected for Thursday. Then activity will increase along with periods of rain, especially over coastal areas on Thursday night.
Crystal, break that down for us. Are we going to have a rainy Easter?
Yes.
Oh.
You didn't even pause to deliver that news. Is it going to be rainy all the time or just periodic rains?
Well, Friday it's going to start off generally isolated and then increase as the day goes on. It's going to decrease slightly and push, most of the activity will push offshore and over the south on Saturday. And then we'll have a gradual increase again on Sunday.
Wow.
All right. We've been warned.
Should we take our windbreakers and jackets when we go south or along the coast?
Yes, and especially an umbrella.
I hear the sadness in your voice as you deliver this news, but we appreciate the honesty, and you know what? If anything else, we'll just play in the rain. Thank you so much, Crystal.
You're welcome.
Have a great day.
And you as well.
Right.
Oh man, I was hoping it was false, but we heard it from
Well,
the,
you know,
from the Met
Francisca warned
Service.
us from early this week that it was going to look this way. I was hoping, but nonetheless, you know, we'll make the most of it. But we got to get moving into our show for today, and we have really important conversation lined up.
All right, indeed. We'll be having a conversation this morning with health and security protocols, about health and security protocols with the Minister of Health and Wellness and the Minister of Home Affairs and New Growth Industries. We'll be chit-chatting with them in our first segment.
All right, and then maybe you haven't gotten around to getting some treats for the kids for this Easter. We're going to have our friends from Sancas come in and share with us some of the treats and baskets that they do have and ways that you can make your own.
Definitely. And in the third segment, what is Easter without hot cross
bun?
We'll be having or summing up our conversation this morning with a quick chit chat with Amanda Lambe, owner of Amanda's Catering, and how you could get your hot cross bun.
All right.
We'll take that break. When we come back, we'll jump on into some very important conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hello? Okay, sure, I'll be there. Hello?
Hi, Mommy. When are you coming home? I really miss you.
Hearing the voice of our loved ones can always lift our spirits and make us feel whole again. With Smart's twice as nice promotion, prepaid customers who make 5 minutes worth of national calls on Sundays can enjoy 50% off. Top double on all national calls for the rest of the day. Call your loved ones and enjoy half off all day long. Smart, bringing people together.
Hola, Tony.
Hey Kevin, ¿qué onda? ¿Qué pasa?
Nada, le vine a buscar porque necesito comprar más mercancías de vasos y platos desechables para mi tienda de comestible. Me estoy quedando sin esas cosas.
No, hombre, fíjate que desde el 15 de abril no puedo importar nada de eso. Y se me acaba de terminar todo lo que tenía hace como 3 semanas.
Oye, pero nunca has estado sin esas cosas. ¿Qué está pasando?
Mira esto. Esta es la nueva ley que prohíbe todo el uso de plásticos no reutilizables. Esos son vasos, platos, cucharas, tenedores, todo eso. Desde 15 de abril de este año no he podido importar nada de eso. A partir del 15 de enero del 2021 nadie puede fabricarlo. 15 de abril 2021 nadie lo puede vender. Y a partir del 14 de julio del 2021 si alguien te agarra con eso, te multan.
Híjole, no sabía eso. Necesito cambiar algunas cosas. Les diré a mis clientes por qué esas cosas ya no están disponibles. Gracias, Antonio.
Así es, cuídate, man.
Pelican, the beer of Belize.
Today's COVID update is brought to you by Fulltech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price but stay for the service.
Welcome back to Open Your Eyes. We're moving now into our first segment, which of course we've got some conversations lined up with our Minister of Health and Wellness, Michelle Shabat, and also a Minister of Home Affairs and New Growth Industries, Karim Musa. We know what the situation is. It's a Easter weekend that's coming up, and a lot of people are looking forward to a lot of things. But these guys will be breaking down things for us. Firstly, I'd like to jump on with the Minister with responsibility for health and wellness, Michelle Shabat. Let's talk about the current situation with COVID in our country, and then we move on from there. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, John. Good morning, Marlene. Good morning, Belize. How are you guys doing?
We are doing A-OK. We're safe. We're out our distance. We're doing fine.
Excellent. That's great. That's great. Well, I think it would be good for us to start as to where we are in terms of vaccinations, perhaps. Is that a good place to start?
Sure, exactly. Let's start there.
Well, right. So far, we've had 21,000 persons being vaccinated. Of that amount, 78.4% are healthcare workers. We have 43% of our population who are 60 years and above. And we have 36% of our teachers who have been vaccinated up to date. The vaccination continues to roll out. We are now at phase 2. And phase 2 includes teachers and policemen. And it has also now opened for the National Assembly and the judiciary. And so we're inviting all of our persons who fall in categories 2A and 2B to now attend any of our health facilities to be vaccinated. 2C is also open, but we're now focusing on those individuals who are involved in the tourism sector 40 years and above, 40-year-old and above.
Okay. Now,
right?
let's focus in there a bit. When you say 43% of the elderly population, 36% of the teachers, it's not the numbers we'd want to hear at this phase. What's the plan in trying to get our elderly properly covered?
Yeah, well, Marlene, first of all, I think it is important to underscore that this is voluntary. This is not mandatory vaccination. And what we've done is initially we just opened up all of our healthcare facilities and invited the population 60 and above to come out. And what we started to do now is to do mobile. So we're now out in many of the villages where we have health centers vaccinating, and we have our community health workers going out and announcing before to the elderly population the date and time that our team will be in the specific villages. We have also started house to house for those individuals who cannot leave their home and wish to be vaccinated at home. So we have a full outreach trying to reach as much of our population as are willing to take the vaccination.
Is there any, with respect to our elderly population, we know that there are heavy reluctance from some folks. Are we seeing that with the elderly?
I think we have seen some resistance, but I think most of all it is access. It is access and having somebody to actually take them to the vaccination sites that is keeping back that population from being vaccinated to a large extent. And that is why we have decided to do an outreach. We've decided to go to them and to get them vaccinated in those instances where they're requesting.
Minister, where we sit right now, we know that, especially with the last COVID update, there are about 36 active cases right now in the country, which simply means that Belizeans are actually adhering to the social distancing rules and are trying their best to do what they have to do. But with respect to tourism, we know that in the US, they're actually seeing another spike of COVID-19. What are being put in place right now, especially with respect to the variants and whatnot? What are being put in place so that we could actually safeguard what we've got here? This is a big weekend.
Yeah. So, John, this is a very big weekend for us, and actually every day for us in health is a big day.
Yeah.
And so what we have done is we are maintaining the public health measures that we have implemented, the social distancing, the wearing of the mask, the continuous washing of hands, and also we are continuing with our testing. Once you come into the country, if you don't have a negative test with you, you are subject to being tested at the airport. If at that point in time your test result comes back positive, then you're required to do a quarantine. Okay, and those measures remain in place. Apart from testing and making sure that people adhere to the public health measures, and we have now embarked on a major education campaign to make people aware of the dangers of COVID. One of the difficulties we have, John and Marlene, is because thankfully the numbers have gone down. We fear that people will have a sense of confidence and they will stop adhering and they will bring down their guards, especially this weekend. We know this is a very heavy partying weekend. And we especially want to reach out to our population and to remind them that COVID is still very real. We've done, the population and our healthcare workers and everybody working together have done a great job in bringing down the numbers, but that does not mean that COVID has disappeared. It does not mean that we have to stop following the public health measures. As a matter of fact, it is even more important now than ever to make sure that, one, we get vaccinated when it is our turn, and two, to adhere to the public health measures to make sure that the numbers remain low.
Some people might not believe the numbers that are coming out from the Ministry of Health, and I think that is something that we need to talk about, trying to get people on board of what's going on. Why would you say these numbers are correct?
So, John, we've heard this criticism, and I call it a criticism. People are skeptical about the numbers coming out from the Ministry of Health and Wellness. But what we do is, in addition to those numbers, we also look at the secondary evidence which comes from our hospitals. And you'll see that we have not had the number of admissions in relation to COVID as we had in the past. And so the fact that the admissions are now down at the hospitals confirm the numbers coming out from the Ministry of Health.
Yeah. You know, the key thing here is that we are not out of the woods. And when we see 38 active cases, we think, oh, it's fine. But complacency is the enemy here. And I want to ask, let's bring in Minister Musa to talk a bit about the efforts on the ground. We know the ticketing system is the new tool being used to deal with people who break quarantine regulations. What's been the update on that?
Good morning, Marlene, and good morning, John. Good morning to all Belizeans. In relation to the ticketing system, what I can say is that we've had very meaningful success. Of course, it means less interaction between our police officers and the public. It means that you're no longer detained for hours on end in a cell and then taken to the magistrate's court the day after, again in an overcrowded situation. And so we can see where we've had good success with the ticketing system, but at the same time, as we approach the Easter weekend, we have to understand that perhaps this is the singular most defining weekend, at least since the Christmas holidays, for us as a nation. As the Minister of Health and Wellness just pointed out, we are currently at 38 positive cases. That's a very low number, but by no means does that mean we can now let our guards down and we can now go out and party as we wish. Which is why, and I don't mean to be the Easter Grinch here, which is why we've had to maintain the regulations and the protocols at least up until the middle of April, so that we can see if there is any spike in the number of cases that will result from this weekend. And so I think it is important for us at the Ministry of Home Affairs to state once again, because we oftentimes forget the very basics, and that is why we're going through a campaign right now of the 3 W's. Wear your mask, wash your hands, and watch your distance. That is our campaign for the Easter weekend, the 3 W's. So it's very important for us as we move into this weekend, because really and truly, the future of our country, the future of how we deal with COVID is in each and every one of our hands. The moment you leave your home, please ensure that you're wearing your mask. When you're going out to the beach or you're going down to the river, keep your social distance from others. Only stay within your family unit that you go out with. There's no need to go interacting or dancing. This is not the time for that. It is certainly a different threat than we had at Christmas time, because Christmas, it was more the overcrowding of stores. Whereas now we know that a lot of Belizeans, because we cannot go across the border to Mexico to vacation for Easter, a lot of Belizeans will be engaged in local tourism, and that is excellent. But there is a right way to have fun, and there is a wrong way to have fun in COVID, and we're encouraging everybody. Don't look at the regulations as some sort of punishment, but rather as a guide to keep us on the right track, to continue with the successes that we have had as a country. And I'm sure the minister can tell you that he's been getting calls from all other countries in the region asking how is it that Belize is doing so well. And so I want to say to all Belizeans, let us, yes, go and enjoy Easter, but we can do so in a very responsible manner.
Well, let me just backtrack a bit. You said that the ticketing system has been successful in reducing the amount of contact between police and persons who break the regulations. But in terms of numbers, how many, I mean, are you seeing more or less people breaking the regulations? And some would say that perhaps the police department has gotten a bit more lax about going after people who break the regulations.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, that is not the complaint that I've been getting. A lot of the members of the public feel as though the police department has gotten more aggressive. But I think it's natural, Marlene, with the passage of time, that we all at some point let our guards down, and we may take off our mask, or we may, like just yesterday, someone greeted me, and for the first time in recent memory that I can recall, I actually reached out and shake the person's hand. And I felt like, oh my God, I need to hurry go and sanitize. And so it's always that reminder, that jolt, that we have to keep our guards up. And so in relation to the ticketing, we've been getting a lot of complaints that, you know, members of the public feel that the police officers are not being fair. But at the same time, like I said, it's not there as a sort of penalty or a punishment. It is just there for us to guide us so that we continue on this path of success. So I want to encourage everybody, again, the 3 W's: wash your hands, watch your distance, and wear your mask. Very easy, and we can all get through this Easter in a very safe way.
So in response to the question, are we seeing more or less people breaking the regulations?
More people right now getting ticketed. More people getting ticketed now than before being charged. Like I said, it's a much easier process to issue a ticket. And so we do have a lot of tickets being issued, but at the same time, that's not what we're looking for. We're not, as a government, trying to make money off of this. We are trying to deter our people from actually harming not only themselves, but their loved ones when they go home, especially the elderly. Because as young people, we feel as though we're invincible to this virus, but at the same time, when we go back to our homes after this weekend, we are with the elderly, we are with our loved ones, and so we have to think about them.
Yeah, and in December, as you rightly noted, the police department was a lot more vigilant in monitoring the areas they knew would get crowded, like the supermarkets, and we saw the long lines and the social distancing being enforced. Let's put it into Easter perspective. There is an agreement with the Ministry of Tourism that you would allow for people who are at hotels to be able to move around the compound beyond curfew hours, and you know, it's not something that police goes in there and polices. So what happens now with Easter, knowing that you're having full hotels and people will want to go to the restaurants, to the bars, and have their own social gatherings right there on the properties?
Excellent question, Marlene. And so the regulation as it relates to hosting of events, let me make this very clear, that still applies. So even if you are on a private compound at a hotel, that does not mean that you can have a party on the hotel grounds. It does not mean that you can have a party in your room, none of that. So if we get any reports of any parties or gatherings taking place, the police will definitely move into action and charge those responsible for hosting the events and those attending the events. And so that is one of the very crucial areas that I want to remind Belizeans of, that it is still unlawful for you to host any event. I see a lot of business establishments posting flyers on Facebook. They're having Easter egg hunts. They're having watermelon eating contests. All of this is illegal. You cannot host an event. Let us be very clear about that. What you can do is have 50% seating capacity for your restaurant. Anything beyond that is unlawful. So it's a very important reminder. And that, Marlene, is not one of these ticketable offenses that results in a $500 fine. In this instance, the hosting of event, you are actually going to be charged $5,000. And also you will have to be detained. So we don't want anybody, any business owner being detained over the Easter holidays. So let us put that on record and remind those the restaurant owners that you're not allowed to be hosting events, and also patrons of the restaurant. If it is you're going to a restaurant and then you decide to go into the water, obviously the water is now considered public space. The responsibility then falls on you not to be engaged in close proximity with others in the water. Again, you can stay close to those within your family unit, but do not engage in a large crowd in the water, because the police again will take you out of the water and give you a ticket for breaching the social distance protocol. So those are two very important points.
I can't imagine.
Another one is, and a lot of us, when we go to the river, we go to the sea, might forget our identification card. So please always take your ID card with you, because if you are going to be issued a ticket, you have to have proof of your identity so that your name can be written down on these tickets. If you do not have your identification card, you can possibly be detained. And we don't want the overcrowding of police stations over the Easter holidays. So always have your ID card on you, but more importantly, do not breach the regulations.
And let's just revise so we have it as clearly as possible.
Yes.
What's the curfew? What's the limit for social gathering? What's the capacity for public transportation? And I mean, have you all, well, let's start with that.
Yes.
Curfew is?
The curfew is still 10 p.m. 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. That still remains in place. In relation to restaurants, you are allowed to have 50% capacity, similar with churches, 50% capacity, and of course, gymnasiums, 50% capacity. Public transportation, I know a lot of the boats will be going out to San Pedro and Kikaka, what have you. 75% capacity. That also applies to buses. So there is a 75% capacity rule as it relates to buses and boats. So that will be enforced as well this weekend.
And number of persons for social gathering?
You cannot have a social gathering, but in any household you should not, or any room you should not have more than 10 people. So, but you cannot host any event, you cannot host a party, even if it's under 10. But if people happen to come by and say hello, you're allowed to have a maximum of 10 people.
Quick clarity here for hotels, and especially those with the Gold Star. Are they able to host anybody inside their restaurant past 10 o'clock, past 10 p.m.?
No, they're not allowed to. So while it is you may be on the common property, on the beach, on the private property, the restaurants are not allowed to be open beyond 10 o'clock. That will be enforced as well.
Bars and nightclubs still closed?
Still closed, and casinos still closed.
All right.
So my question is, what is the message to the department going into the Easter weekend? I mean, realistically, Minister Musa, they can't police the entire coastline where people are swimming. And the amount of hotels that are actually full to capacity that are on private property, I mean, we're talking about a whole lot of check-ins that have to happen. What's the message to the department going into this weekend?
You're perfectly right, Marlene. Going into this weekend, as you know, the police department has regular duties, including the safeguarding of the public, the protection of life and property. And so while it is that we must, as a department, be engaged in the normal policing duties, and of course, to prevent criminals from engaging in criminal activity over the weekend, we also have the added responsibility of supervising and monitoring and ensuring that the general public is not breaching any of these regulations. And so while it is that we will be stretched very thin over this Easter weekend, our presence will certainly be felt in all of the hot spots. When you think about, for example, the split at Key Cocker, that's where we're going to have police stationed out at Secret Beach in San Pedro. That's also a place known to have gatherings, so we'll have police presence there to ensure that there is social distancing. And so while it is we cannot be everywhere all at once, we are strategically placing our police officers in known hotspots when it comes to enforcing these particular regulations.
A lot of people, though, Minister Musa, will be leaving their homes. They'll be on the highways and byways. How can we continue to protect these folks out there, especially with respect to heightened security? What's the plan with that respect?
Yes, certainly. My advice to those that will be going on the highway, of course, you have to follow the law as it relates to drinking and driving. You cannot drink and drive at the same time. Stay within the speed limit. Fasten your seatbelts. We know that a lot of accidents happen over Easter weekend, and so there is no, it's not worth it to risk your life and the life of your loved ones over the weekend. Wherever you're going, it's still going to be there. If you're going to Placencia, Placencia isn't going anywhere anytime soon. So just be safe on the highways. When you're leaving your home, my advice, of course, is to secure your home properly. If you have neighbors that you can trust and they're going to be home, ask them to keep an extra eye on your property for you because you won't be there. And we have to be our brother's keeper during this time. So if we see suspicious activity in our respective neighborhoods, pick up the phone and call the police so that the police can come and investigate what is going on. So that is my advice when you're leaving home this weekend. And of course, be very safe on the highways. And while swimming, please at all times supervise your young children to ensure that they're not alone in the water. And you yourself, I mean, it's going to be a very rough weekend. We heard that the weather calls for rain. So at the same time, we have to be very safe when we're going into the water this weekend.
Minister Shabat, you know, I think the relationship between both your ministries is so important, because where we can talk about safety protocols and things that are being enforced by the Home Affairs Ministry, it's also important that we recognize some of the things that are happening with the Ministry of Health. The vaccine rollout so far, I think you said 21,000 people have been vaccinated so far. But the key thing to remember here is that that first vaccination isn't enough to say that you are protected. We should still, and I say we because I've already received my first dose too, we should still be maintaining all of the preventative measures that we can.
Absolutely, Marlene. The science is that you need 2 vaccines to have maximum protection. And in Belize, we're doing the second vaccine between 8 to 12 weeks from the day you get the initial vaccination. But I think it is important to underscore that what the vaccine does is 2 things. It prevents you from getting severe symptoms should you contract the COVID virus. And 2, it is guaranteed to save your life. So I think what I want the public to understand is by getting the vaccine, it does not necessarily mean that you still can't get COVID.
Yeah.
And so it is so important. It is so important to continue to adhere to the public health measures that we've implemented.
Minister, the COVID vaccine first shipment, 33,000 is coming in today, this morning actually. What is the plan for this batch?
Yes, from this, a portion of this will be used to continue doing first doses, and a portion will be reserved to do the second doses for those persons who will be eligible to get it. I believe starting the first week in May, most people will now become eligible.
Okay. And the second shipment, I know it's the first is just arriving, but let's talk about when the second is going to come.
Okay, so let us just to put some perspective here. The first shipment we're getting today is a portion of the initial allotment from the COVAX facility.
Yeah.
So we're getting 33,600 today. Yeah. The remaining 66,000 will be coming shortly. We don't have a precise date yet. We're waiting for the facility to inform us exactly which date it will be arriving in Belize, but that is coming next.
And the Prime Minister had once mentioned that we would be receiving the Sputnik vaccine from Russia. What's the update on that?
That we're still working out the negotiation with those, but that is also in the pipeline.
Where do we stand with respect to vaccinations and dealing with this entire pandemic amongst the Caribbean? Minister Musa mentioned that you've actually been getting calls from our neighbors saying, how are you doing it?
Yeah, well, you know, we do have a constant interaction with our brother and sister ministers of health from the Caribbean. And I think we're all pretty much in the same position, trying to get as many vaccinations into our countries as we can. There is a Caribbean platform through which we're also working to be able to access additional vaccinations. I think Belize is one of those countries in the Caribbean that has done excellent in terms of lowering the curve. We see an upspike in Turks and Caicos at the moment. And so it varies from country to country. But I think Belize has stood out because we've had an adherence. We've had our population understand the importance of this vaccination and of this virus and how important it is to adhere to the measures. And I think that is where our success comes from, that our people have listened and our people are adhering. And so I think that is part of the success story we're seeing in Belize.
You know, we have seen where mass gatherings have led to spikes that with devastating consequences. How concerned are you as we move into this weekend?
Very, very much so, Marlene. This for us, from the Ministry of Health and Wellness perspective, is perhaps one of the more dangerous weekends we're going to be encountered since this pandemic started. And that is why we felt as a government that it is important to maintain the statutory instrument that we had brought into effect earlier this year. It is, you know, this virus is spread by human contact. There's no other way to get around that.
Yeah.
And the more interaction there is, the more possibilities of a spread. And that has been shown time and time again. You know, we're not inventing the wheel here. We're not guessing what causes the spread. We now know what causes it. And so our goal as a government is to try to protect our citizens by putting in place these measures so that we can all be safe.
Of course, and I think where we can very much talk about 36 active cases being a low number, that is actually just those that have been caught in the system. There's always the situation of asymptomatic cases that won't get detected because they have no symptoms. Yeah. What's happening with contact tracing? Are we still actively contact tracing and testing people even if they're asymptomatic?
We still are testing, Marlene, and whenever we have a positive result, our team goes out and do the contact tracing. It still continues. I know that right now the highlight and the main focus is on vaccination, but everything that we do, everything we've been doing before in terms of testing and contact tracing still continues.
And the active monitoring for COVID variants, we know the situation in Brazil. We hear what's happening in the United States. These variants are popping up, and they are very aggressive in the spread.
They are very aggressive, and as a matter of fact, Marlene, I know that you guys will know that many of the states in the United States are seeing a third wave.
Yes.
And that is very dangerous, and we continue to monitor that very closely. We have a relationship with Baylor University, who's doing our testing to make sure that we don't have, or that we can identify any new variant coming into the country.
Mm-hmm. And how does that impact tourism? You know, there's a lot of people in the United States are getting vaccinated. What's the protocol for when they come in now?
Yeah, so here in Belize, regardless of whether you've been vaccinated or not, we still maintain the right to test you when you come into the country.
Okay.
So that means you may or may not be tested. So if I come in fully vaccinated and 2 weeks has passed, then I may enter without a test. Or you may decide I want to do a spot test.
That is correct.
I'd like to go back to Honorable Musa with respect to crime in the country and the big weekend coming up. Now, one of the things we continue to promote is local tourism, which I think is definitely one of the ways to go. But at the same time, there might be some folks who are heavily reluctant to leave home simply because of heightened criminal activities. As we saw a brazen robbery in the news, I think it was yesterday. How can we, especially for this weekend, have our people feel safe with respect to your ministry?
Yes, as you're rightly pointing out, John, with the dire economic situation in our country, naturally it is expected that there will be a spike in criminal activity. And so while it is that we in the police department are taking a very serious approach, a heightened approach to criminal activity, and putting officers in strategic locations and increasing the presence of officers in those hotspots where there is a lot of gang-related activity. At the same time, we have seen a spike in other forms of criminal activity like robberies and like home invasions. And so what that requires is a vigilance on the part of us as Belizeans to keep an extra eye out, not just on our property, but on our neighbor's property, and to report suspicious behavior. I am a firm believer, John, in the whole concept of neighborhood watch groups. Certainly in my constituency, Caribbean Shores, it has seen remarkable success. We have very active neighborhood watch groups, and that is something that I would want to see expanded all across the country. Create these model watch groups and show the effectiveness of those watch groups, how they interact with the police department. And that is something, of course, will take time. But at the very same time, we can start at home and just looking at our surroundings, keeping an extra eye out for our neighbors, like I said, as we go into this weekend. And so I want to assure the public that the police is doing everything, absolutely everything in its power to protect life and to protect property as we approach the Easter weekend.
And let me bring it back to Minister Shavat for a moment. The current regulations, as you both have clearly stated, will continue. They were supposed to expire, I think, in the middle of Easter, but they will continue until April what?
15th.
15th.
Yes.
At that time, children will be returning to some schools across the country. How much are you going to be monitoring whether there's spikes taking place as a result of that?
We certainly will be monitoring every step of the way, Marlene. As I said, it is important for us as a Ministry of Health and Wellness to keep a thumb on this thing, no? And we will have our public health inspectors visiting and monitoring the situation. We are working closely with the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Education, to make sure that we are synchronized and that we are working off the same page. And so definitely we are going to be monitoring that situation. As far as I understand it, it will be a phased opening for schools. And that will be excellent for us to be able to monitor and to see how, if at all, there is a spread as a result of that.
All right. Well, I think we've really tried to explain to people how important it is that we maintain all the protocols. Is there also a hotline that people can call if they're at a resort, if they're at a hotel, if they pass a restaurant or bar and they want to be able to say, I'm seeing a crowd here, either past 10 p.m. or big gathering, who do they call? Where do they go?
The hotline, Marlene, is still in place, 0800 parties. We encourage all Belizeans to play your part. If you see that someone is hosting an event, having a large gathering or a party, please go ahead and call the hotline. The police will respond. Of course, your identity will not be disclosed. It will remain anonymous. And so we want to encourage all Belizeans to play your part in reporting large gatherings over the Easter. It is allowed, like I said, to have 50% capacity at restaurants. We know that some locations have a series of restaurants along the beach, and so it might seem that there's large crowds there, but within each particular restaurant, they have to maintain their 50% capacity. And again, once you leave that restaurant and go into the water, the responsibility then falls on you, the individual, to ensure that you are complying with the social distance protocols, 6 feet apart from anybody else that's not in your family.
Yeah.
And so we're going to be keeping an extra eye out for that. But again, the hotline is still there, 0800 parties, to report any large crowds or gatherings.
All right. Well, we appreciate you speaking on the safety for Easter, but if you'd allow us for a moment to talk about some other pressing issues. And I want to start off with looking at the ongoing negotiations with the unions about being able to, what will happen with the wage cut. Can I get your perspective as to what it's going to take to move forward?
Well, as you know, Marlene, we are going to the House of Representatives next week, Friday, to introduce the budget for the upcoming fiscal year. There have been ongoing negotiations. I'm not a part of the negotiating team, but what I can tell you is that there is a lot of goodwill that we have been receiving, particularly because we are a government that consults. It is no secret that we are in a very serious time in our country. It was predicted by the last administration. Of course, they withheld imposing any salary cuts or any retrenchment, any stringent measures. They withheld that because there was an election coming up. But the former prime minister made it very clear that whoever inherits the government will have a very difficult, tough time and will have to make very difficult decisions. And so while we are navigating through these unprecedented times, I think it speaks volumes that we are a government that consults. We've been having these negotiations, as you mentioned, with the unions, and we continue to have them over the Easter weekend. We will continue on Monday, Easter Monday. The unions will be coming to the table. They're taking their time off. Our ministers are taking their time off because this is so very important as we move forward together in this.
And being, the head of the police department, you can imagine, I mean, firsthand the impact on the individual officers. I mean, do you feel that they can handle a 10% cut and a salary and an increment freeze?
No one can, Marlene. Let's just be real about that. It's a very hard pill to swallow for anybody, especially our police officers and our frontline workers who, as you know, have been sacrificing from day one in this pandemic. To hear that they would possibly be getting a salary cut is not good news. So I am personally committing to sitting down with the head of the police association. As you know, they're not a part of the unions.
Yeah.
And so it's still very important as the Minister of Home Affairs for me to personally sit with them and give them the assurances that we will have to find ways in order to make up, because like you said, a 10% salary cut is nothing nice. Nobody wants to go through that. Especially in these very costly times. And so I'll be sitting with them over the course, if not this week, early next week, to sit with the head of the police association to see what we can do in terms of our ministry to help out our police officers.
And what you said just now about frontline officers, I think it's important and it's relevant to both of you. When you consider the police department who's been out there on the front lines, many of whom got affected by COVID, We lost a police officer as a result. The same with the Minister of Health. You're talking about doctors who lost their lives on the front line, nurses who've been continuously exposed. How do you feel about it, Minister Shabat?
Yeah, Marlene, this is not easy. This is not easy for anyone. Our doctors and our nurses and all of our workers at our hospitals have sacrificed so much, and going back to them and asking them to sacrifice some more is definitely not easy. It is not a position we'd want to be in. And so I don't think it makes anyone happy to have to do this 10% cut. And I'll tell you what, Marlene, this government has been very sensitive to the plight and to the sacrifices that our healthcare workers, frontline workers have made during this pandemic. I think it is important to remember that when we got into office, our frontline workers in the healthcare system were owed overtime from September of last year. Yeah. And one of the first things this government did was to make sure that we had money to pay them, to pay all of the overtime that was owed for the healthcare workers in our public hospitals. We are in conversation with the Carl Huchner Memorial Hospital to see how we can also assist them to pay the overtime that is due to these people who have given so much to our country, to make sure that you and me and Kareem and all of us could be at home safe. And so we owe them a huge debt of gratitude. But I say this because it is important to underscore that this government is not an insensitive government. The sacrifices that we're being asked to make is for a greater good. And while it takes a lot from us and we don't necessarily want to go down this road, I think when we look at the larger picture and we see what is looming there, then we understand that although this is difficult, it is necessary to avoid what may come.
And moving forward with the budget presentation, I know individually you've prepared your own budgets, and you are two of the ministries that perhaps have a lot of needs, especially in this time. How are you able to put together something that realistically the government can afford, but also be able to ensure that we're protected health-wise and security-wise?
Yes, Marlene. For us at the Ministry of Health and Wellness, it was critical for us to be able to negotiate and ensure that we have a specific budget to continue with the fight against COVID. And I can tell you that I am, without jumping the gun here and not trying to disclose what may come in the budget, I can tell you that this government is committed to the fight against COVID, to the continuing fight against COVID. And so I am confident that we will have the funds that are necessary to continue protecting our country.
And Minister Musa?
Yes, as would be anticipated, the budget annually for the police department, it's something that is always there. The need is always there, whether it's the need for more officers, the need for more police vehicles. So it's very unfortunate that we're having these very austere times because, like you mentioned, there is a spike in crime. And so we have to strike that very delicate balance and ensure that the appropriate budget is assigned to the Ministry of Health and is assigned to the Ministry of Home Affairs. And of course, we have ceilings in place that we have to work around. So we have to be very innovative in this time. We have to reach out to the IFIs, to different funding groups. And I'm pleased to say that in the situation of the national security of the country, when it comes to the Belize Defense Force, the Coast Guard, and the Belize Police Department, we do have access to a CABE loan that is coming up that will assist us certainly as we move forward, and we want to pivot into an era of innovation and technology, greater use of innovation and technology within the police department. That is something that we have to look forward to. So we have to, like I said, become very innovative and reach out to our partners to see how we can make up the budget, the very essential budget that it will take to run both of our respective ministries.
All right. Well, we're so grateful that we could have had both of you in this morning to address some of the issues, some of the concerns, and then again share with us how we're moving forward with respect to your ministry. I'd like to thank both of you for this morning. Thank you.
Thank you for having us on.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
And have a happy
and safe Easter.
Yes, and we will remember all that we need to do. Wear the mask, watch the distance, and wash our hands.
Thank you, Marlene.
All right, there you go. We're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we're going to be talking about making Easter treats for the kids. So please, stay tuned.
This COVID update was brought to you by Fulltech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price, but stay for the service. Working off-site doesn't mean you have to be off your game. Studies have shown that simply adding a keyboard and mouse to your laptop increases productivity by 26%. Add a monitor, and you'll be 35% more productive. At Fulltech Systems, we have what you need to enhance your remote work or e-learning experience. With devices such as headsets, video conferencing monitors, webcams, keyboards, mice, docking stations, all with the brands you trust. Keep connected with collaboration tools like Microsoft 365 Suite and Kaspersky and perform efficiently no matter where you are. Fulltech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price, but stay for the service.
In these challenging times, the one thing that is certain is that the Belize Bank Limited is here for you. There is nothing more important than your health and safety, and we continue to make every effort to make banking safer for you. Our staff is working around the clock to make sure you can do your banking conveniently 24/7 using our mobile banking app and online banking and keeping ATMs up and running. We value your relationship with us and are here to provide the support you need. First responders are also out there 24/7. Thank you, healthcare workers, security forces, firefighters, caregivers. You are all appreciated. Stay safe. We will get through this together. The Belize Bank, our country, your bank.
Research on the impact of COVID-19 infection on pregnant women is limited. Right now, pregnant women are at higher risk of severe illness than the general population. Pregnancy can affect the way a woman's body handles respiratory infections. If you are pregnant, protect yourself against COVID-19. Wash hands frequently using soap and water for at least 40 seconds. Use alcohol-based hand sanitizer if soap and water are not available. Cover cough or sneeze with tissue and throw used tissue in a bin. Clean and disinfect frequently touched surfaces such as doorknobs, counters, phones, and tablets. Practice physical distancing. Work from home if possible. Avoid contact with anyone who has fever, cough, and cold or flu-like symptoms. Don't touch your eyes, nose, or mouth without first washing your hands with soap and water. If you have fever, cough, and feel extra tired, call 0800-MOH-CARE. Help keep Belize safe.
It's a fact that you can access unlimited services with Smart. Tired of being measured or cut off when you need to be connected? It's a fact that when you sign up for Smart's Plus plan, you get unlimited talk, text, and unlimited data. And it's a fact that you can sign up with your group of up to 5 members for Smart's Share plans and up to 40 members for Smart's Enterprise plans for unlimited talk, text, and data. Smart has the true unlimited plans. That's a fact. Be smart and live smart.
Win a backyard barbecue kit this Easter break with your purchase of a 6-pack of Bellikin beer, Bellikin Light, or Bellikin Stout. All you have to do is scan the QR code found on your six-pack or visit belican.pz/win. Fill out the raffle form with your information and the unique six-pack code, then submit. That's it. The more six-pack you purchase, the better your chance to win. Drawing date is Tuesday, April 6, 2021. Have a happy and safe Easter break. Drink responsibly.
Yo, Belize, this is Tig the artist, been the hardest.
And I am Young Protege, aka the Traffic Man, and we are here to talk to you about drinking and driving.
You see me? I could party when I'm ready, especially with my fans them, but I don't drink and drive. Somebody always sober in my squad to drive.
That's good to hear, birds, because there's no secret that too much Belizeans always they get in a crash because of drinking and driving.
You know, almost 30% of Belizeans reported driving after drinking more than 2 glasses of alcohol, which is considered the legal limit of intoxication.
And what's more, almost 40% reported often riding with a driver who was intoxicated, and over 25% reported driving a motorcycle intoxicated.
This is a serious issue because Belizeans consume an average of 30 liters of alcohol per year, which puts us as the highest consumers of alcohol in Latin America and the Caribbean.
Belize, we need to do better than this, man.
Belizeans, let's keep our roads safe for everyone. Never drink and drive because you can't replay in a real life. Stig says so. Wow. Respect.
Reduce your risk of viral illness like the flu or the coronavirus. Wash your hands frequently with soap and water or with an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Cover your nose and mouth when coughing or sneezing with a tissue. Throw away, then wash hands immediately. Avoid close contact with anyone who has the cold or flu-like symptoms. If you become ill, please visit your doctor or nearest health center and share your travel history. A health and wellness message from your Ministry of Health.
Welcome back to Open Your Eyes. It is time for a second conversation. Now this one is all about Easter treats and what to do and what not to do. Aisha Chap is in with us. She is from Bottom Dollar, where you stretch your dollar. Aisha, good morning.
Good morning. It's always fun, to be on the show.
Yes.
And we're going to be making some lovely treats this morning. I was telling Marlene just now I had to call my mom because I wasn't sure. Because my mom is a chef, but I'm not quite there yet. Right?
I see you.
But one of the things we are encouraging is that we know that not all families are going to be traveling. So definitely want them to feel comfortable making stuff at home with the kids. And so whether it's Easter basket or I see all kind of stuff here. I don't know what's going on.
All right. So we will start with this one. Okay. This is our Tasty Confetti No Bake cheesecake.
What?
Right? So this one is very easy. It takes maybe maybe half an hour. I'll say half an hour, right?
Okay.
So what we do first, it has everything in it. It has 1, 2, so it's easy to follow, and then the sprinkles.
Don't worry about that.
Okay.
So we're gonna get started. We have
one
here. All right.
Okay, so the first thing we do is put the crumbs, which is the one in here.
Okay,
step one. So it's right here on the box.
Okay.
And then step 2, the filling.
Okay.
So it comes with crumbs already?
Come with the crumbs, the filling.
Everything.
Everything. And for the crumbs, all you need to do is put in 2 tablespoons of sugar in there.
2 tablespoons. 1.
1, 2.
2. Easy. You write that down?
Right
cool.
there. The thing is, it's right there on the
It's
box.
on the box.
It's on the box. Easy, easy.
Yes. You know what happened? He baked from scratch.
Yes,
All right. So all we're gonna do is just mix that together.
Okay.
Okay. So I pour this in now.
Look at melted butter.
4 ounces of melted butter.
Oh damn.
Put that in there.
All right. Mix it up.
We're gonna mix this up. Just gonna mix it up, guys, so that you can see
how easy
it is. And then. All right, so we're continue mixing this, and then what you do is put it in the pan.
Okay.
As easy as that.
Easy as that.
Because then you're going to press it down anyway.
Yes, we're going to press it down. So you're going to spread that out. Of course.
With the kids, of course, they can use the hands. They have the perfect little hands to fit in the container.
All right, so there we go. So, of course,
that's step 1.
Because of time, we're doing it really fast.
Quick.
So this. You put this in the refrigerator. It looks like this. For 15 minutes, I had to call an expert to find out what to do because.
And then the second one is the filling.
So you pour that out and you pour 1 cup of Dutch Lady semi-skim.
All right.
Cold milk. It has to be cold. So you pour that in there.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
You love your set, my goodness.
Yes.
All right. Spoon.
Yeah, you'll use that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna mix it around. No, I was worried because it looks a little bit watery. But when you leave it for a while, it's gonna become thicker.
It sets on its own.
Yes. So you're gonna mix this up.
So all that takes is milk.
All that takes is milk. Cold milk. Cold plain semi-skim milk, of course.
This is so easy, my goodness.
And that's important too, because it's not full cream milk. You're using semi-skim.
Yeah. And then what we will do after this is this is set for 15 minutes.
Yeah, you put
then
that
you're gonna pour this over.
That looks delicious.
You can smell it, right?
Yeah. Even through my mask.
Yes.
You know, back in the days, the nicest thing about doing it is licking the pan. So,
So
all right.
you spread this out. And then get it right there.
All right.
Nice and good.
And
then the sprinkles.
And then here comes the fun part.
Okay,
Yes.
can you open that for us?
Okay.
All right.
Let's
So
see.
let's do
Without
that.
making a mess, you didn't give me that disclaimer. All right. This is where I'm going to put it to the front so you guys
Yeah.
can see it.
All right.
This is what we're looking at, and now we
Put the sprinkles all
pour
over.
on
Oh my
the
goodness, it looks good.
fun.
Yeah.
Marlene, you're a
And it
pro,
looks
man.
very nice and bright.
Yes,
and
it is.
Yeah.
For
And
the kids.
there you go. You put it in the refrigerator
For?
for like an hour, or if you make it from the night, you left it in, you know, and
Okay.
take it out the morning. So, you know, Easter Sunday, a lot of people like to have family get-togethers
Yep.
and
Yeah.
so on. So make it the Saturday, put it in there, and
And
there
then-
you have it.
And you see,
That's the finished product there.
we have a TV oven and a TV fridge. Yes. There is the finished
So you
product.
can cut that
Man.
to use on the plates right there.
All right.
So we could just take it out.
All right.
Oh, look at that.
There you go.
One for me and one for me. There you have
Yeah, I
it.
love it.
Easy little treat that
Easy
you
little
can make
treat.
at
And
home.
I know that it looks sweet, you know, but like extra sweet because of the sprinkles,
Yes.
but because of the filling
Uh-huh.
and the semi-skim milk, it just balances out.
Okay.
I just want to put that out there.
Okay.
In case you're wondering if your kids are gonna be like running around.
Yeah.
They're still gonna be running
Talking
around.
like a
but-
true mom. All right. So we did the confetti
the tasty
dessert.
confetti, whole baked cheesecake. Okay, so moving right along.
Okay.
I know this is our Tostitos avocado salsa.
Okay.
All right. So all you gotta do, you know, you can whip out a nice plate.
Yeah.
Put your Tostitos, pop it open.
Around.
There you have
You thought I was going to hand it to you.
And if you want to be festive, you know, you can leave it there in the bottle or you can put it out.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah, you want it bottle?
Nice.
You can. We're using this, the Tostitos blue corn,
Yeah.
organic. We're just gonna take
You just
some of
put on
this
it,
out.
yes. You could smell it already.
And you want to be festive, right?
Yeah.
Those are my
We're gonna spread
favorite.
You want
these
brand
there.
to your friends there. Look how nice that look.
Yeah, and then we're gonna be adding some Doritos in case you know you
Well,
want something
look
else.
yeah. All right.
There, over there, and there you have it. That is ready.
That's it.
That's it right there.
Wow.
Put a little bit more.
Another beautiful plate there. Easy peasy. And stuff you can do at home.
You have the colors of Easter there, the green, the purple,
Yeah.
and a little yellow.
I'll be like 10. All right.
See, I didn't even think of that, but you
Yes.
see?
So that's 1, 2. What's the third thing?
Okay, so this belongs over to you.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna do, I mean, I love these things. These are,
the snack
you know,
pack.
you can do a lot with these.
Yeah.
So we're gonna take the cup.
Okay.
Okay.
And what I did was I used the Badia food coloring to make different colors.
Oh, okay.
So, sorry. We're gonna start with the biscuit, your favorite, the canela.
Yes, I love that.
She brings out my favorites,
Yes.
right? I love this one too. Cinnamony and
Nice
So you're gonna
and
add
sweet.
some, yes,
All
to
right.
the bottom of the cup.
Mm-hmm.
You can do this in cups or in a bigger container.
Bigger container,
yeah.
okay.
Then we're
Then
gonna
put
add
that.
some of this on top.
And that's just the plain white or vanilla.
The vanilla, it's a vanilla one.
And you added the coloring to it.
I did,
Yes.
so that it looks nice and
Coloring, right.
colorful. So we're gonna add more biscuits on top there.
What? So we're double.
A nice little layered treat.
Yeah. Look at that.
And sometimes you're like thinking, what can I do? You know, what can I do to make things a little bit fun at home? Well, there you go. And the pack of this brings 4 of this snack pack in there, so you can go wild with your colors if you want. You can go wild with your colors. So
Oh,
here
that's
we
so
have
cute.
the green.
Yeah.
I'll put
Some more biscuit.
And then one final. Can you please pop the marshmallow from this one?
Oh, the marshmallow or the yellow?
The yellow and then the marshmallow, so that we can just
All
move
right.
along. Okay, so, our
this
final.
is vanilla with yellow.
Yes. All of these are the vanilla.
Here, Johnny, cover this.
All right.
Oh, that's so cute.
All right, here we go. Here we go.
And then we're gonna top this off.
Oh, that's adorable.
Yeah, that's so cute. Colors is beautiful.
Yeah, dairy Easter.
There you go.
Yeah.
Look at that.
And look at that. Within that, you get your jello, you get your crackers, and you get your marshmallow.
Yes.
In one cup.
One cup. Okay. So moving it right along. We're gonna be doing some. You know, I love popcorn. I know our viewers probably say every time I go and I do something with popcorn, but I just love popcorn. So
you need one of these?
And the kids love popcorn.
Yes. So
popcorn.
I want you to point out this for me. This is our Cheetos. This one. So we're gonna do two different types of popcorn. We're gonna do the hot, and we're gonna do the regular popcorn. So
Okay.
these are Cheetos popcorn, flaming hot.
Flaming hot
So that's
popcorn.
spicy.
So you're gonna mix them together.
I'm gonna do one.
So we can open this one too, right?
Yes, with the regular popcorn. And what I'm gonna do is, yeah, you can go ahead and pour it. Cause we're doing two types. So maybe
Tell
some.
me when.
When. And then we're gonna add some pretzels.
Okay.
Oh, we're making a fancy popcorn.
Okay.
All right.
So we can add some over here too.
Okay.
And then, can you please open this for me? No.
Test
Right.
yourself now, John.
This one, you can put whatever you want in your popcorn.
All right.
This is what. So we're gonna put it in this one
So we
because that one is hot. These are
Gummies.
gummy sour heads. This one is the watermelon.
And these are watermelon ones.
First they're sweet, then they're sour. Oh my God.
Yes. So
and then this is
the
apple rings.
Yes.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Ooh.
All right.
Well.
So they get some candy with their popcorn.
Candy and popcorn. So like I say, you can put whatever you want in your popcorn. So just gonna give this a little
Stir it
mix
up.
There. And if you want to be more fun, you can add yourself
Marshmallow to that as well.
some marshmallows. The colors
Sweet and
salty and tangy together. So there you go. The hot one, you don't we can add some of the Doritos to that as well, so that you have a mixture of the popcorn, the pretzels, and the chips.
Yummy, yummy.
For the hot one, you don't have to add a lot of things to that, but you can just add the rest of your chips to it. Give it a stir.
Yeah. Shaky. All right.
There you have it. So all of this easy
snacks you can do at home. So now you sit down and you have a movie night with the kids. And make sure you have some nice family bonding time there as well.
You realize,
Let's talk about over here now.
Baskets.
So I just want to point out that you can be as original and unique as you want. Yes, so we chose, thanks to Jocelyn, thank you for this. We were thinking, what can I give, something that we can reuse again. We can use it for your sandwiches.
It's a sandwich container, so
or
that's the cover.
Fruit slices or whatever it is, right?
Okay.
And then all of these are things that kids love.
Yeah.
Juice, your Cheetos,
Cookies.
pancake, chocolate,
Your sour heads.
sour heads, and orgeat, yes. It looks a bit festive. So this is something that you can put together for your kids. And then this, of course, is an adult package.
Yeah, some of your uncle.
Yes.
Those mail baskets were really popular last time, weren't they?
Yes, they were. I just want to say that,
these out.
you can, the bowl is available at Bottom Dollar. These two, the bowls are available there too. So everything, is available. You can buy a bowl and you can put whatever it is you want in your bowl. And you can use this for ice. You can take it with you on the beach.
Yeah.
Put it beside you and put your ice in there with your drinks.
Yeah.
All right, so there we had it. Easter treat.
So everything here available, right?
Everything
at
available
Bottom
at Bottom Dollar. And remember that we're going to be open on Holy Saturday from 9 until 5 p.m. So you have time to come on down and stop by.
Okay.
Do your last minute shopping before you for Easter Sunday, people usually cook up, you know.
Yeah.
If you're going anywhere, you know, just make sure you wear a mask, social distance. And we have everything that you need there at Bottom Dollar. Your snacks, your drinks, everything. There you have it, our Easter hours. And don't forget that we have tomorrow our Easter raffle drawing.
Okay.
And we also have our shop and win drawing tomorrow, where a number of customers will win $250 cash. We're gonna do it early so that you can collect your money
and then carry it on vacation with you. Great.
Yes, definitely.
So what about opening hours for Thursday, for tomorrow being?
Tomorrow it's
full
regular
Thursday?
opening hours from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So now you know exactly what to do. We showed you all the snacks, where to get them as well. And why not, huh? Stretch your dollar out.
Bottom dollar.
So we're about to take a break. When we come back, we've shown you this. We've shown you the treats. We'll tell you exactly how to make, where to get as well your hot cross buns. We'll do that when we come back.
As strong as our families, businesses, institutions, and the communities that surround us. Then by giving businesses the power to grow, entrepreneurs the ability to expand, and by giving our families the right to own something. The Belize Bank gives you the power to build a nation, our nation. Stronger together. The Belize Bank. Our country. Your bank.
Win a backyard barbecue kit this Easter break with your purchase of a 6-pack of Bellikin beer, Bellikin Light, or Bellikin Stout. All you have to do is scan the QR code found on your 6-pack or visit bellikin.bz/win. Fill out the raffle form with your information and the unique 6-pack code, then submit. That's it. The more 6-pack you purchase, the better your chance to win. Drawing date is Tuesday, April 6, 2021. Have a happy and safe Easter break. Drink responsibly.
It's a fact that you can access unlimited services with Smart. Tired of being measured or cut off when you need to be connected? It's a fact that when you sign up for Smart's Plus plan, you get unlimited talk, text, and unlimited data. And it's a fact that you can sign up with your group of up to 5 members for Smart's Share plans and up to 40 members for Smart's Enterprise plans for unlimited talk, text, and data. Smart has the true unlimited plans. That's a fact. Be smart and live smart.
reduce your risk of viral illness like the flu or the coronavirus. Wash your hands frequently with soap and water or with an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Cover your nose and mouth when coughing or sneezing with a tissue. Throw away, then wash hands immediately. Avoid close contact with anyone who has the cold or flu-like symptoms. If you become ill, please visit your doctor or nearest health center and share your travel history. A health and wellness message from your Ministry of Health.
Wow. Oh my God, she drunk. No hurry, I got this. My goodness. Oh my gosh, it's the artist.
Being the hardest. The artist. But you had way more than 2 drinks tonight, love, which is the legal limit to drive. What about you? Can you drive?
Well, I was drinking soft drink all night, so I can drive her home. Thanks, Bree. Of course, Tricia, you know I got you. You're my girl.
That's what I like to see. Friends don't let friends drive drunk, because you can't replay in a real life. Stig says so. Can't replay in a real life.
Welcome back to Open Your Eyes. We're moving now into our third and final segment for the morning. So I'll tell you what, Easter is not Easter without hot cross bun. And in to tell us all about how it's done and where to get yours is the owner of Amanda's Catering, Amanda Lambe. Amanda, good morning.
Good morning.
And how are you today?
I'm good.
I'm sure you must have packed up with orders too.
I have a couple.
Tell us about yourself, Amanda, and what you do.
Well, I'm married with 4 children.
Oh.
I'm a stay-at-home mom, so I work out of my home.
Okay.
It's a home-based catering business.
That's beautiful. Nice.
And how did you move into that business?
Well, as my kids grew older, first I started with the bread and bun. I used to have somebody going out to sell for me.
Okay.
And as my kids grew older and I had more independence, I decided to open up myself to offering food and pastries. And then later on, I went and took a couple courses, and now I'm offering decorated cakes as well.
What?
Okay.
So you get through your courses and now things happen.
I see pigs in a blanket, sausage roll.
Yeah.
So you do like snacks for people to be able to take as well as
Finger
cakes? Food and a full meal if you desire.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
All right.
Well, today you're about to do for us.
That just makes me hungry.
Yeah. Look at the rice and beans there. Today you're about to do for us one of Easter's Easter, which is the hot cross bun.
Yes.
So let's jump on into it. What do we need? Because I like it.
Now,
Okay.
Amanda, you said it's easy, but I gotta tell you, it takes skill. So I'll be paying keen attention to see if I'm gonna try this here.
It's really simple, really. You just have to have the correct quantity of each ingredient.
Okay.
So I have 2 pounds of flour here.
Okay, right
2 pounds of flour. All right.
All right.
And so you'll put in all the dry ingredients first.
Do you have any flour you prefer or any kind of flour you
I prefer baby agua.
Okay, so good.
Yeah,
2
for bread and
pounds
bun, I prefer baby agua.
flour.
How much
Then
sugar?
I have 3/4 pounds of brown sugar.
3/4 pound brown sugar. All right.
I have my allspice. All my spices will be a tablespoon each.
So what's that? What that you're putting?
Allspice.
Allspice followed by
So that's a tablespoon of allspice. Write it down.
Cinnamon.
One of my favorite
Oh,
things.
I love the
I love the
smell.
smell of it too.
Yeah, this is what gives it the smell. The scent.
Tablespoon again.
Yes.
Cool.
Still going with dry.
Yeah.
Yes. And then lastly, we have our nutmeg.
Nutmeg.
You got on a file.
Which you obviously grate
Yes,
fresh.
I rather grate it myself.
Okay.
It's guaranteed fresh.
So how much? What the quantity you put in there?
Same 1 tablespoon.
One
All the
tablespoon.
spices are a tablespoon.
I smell them.
And then we have our coconut powder.
Okay.
1 shacket. Or if you prefer, you can use the coconut cream.
Okay.
And then 1 shacket of yeast as well.
Okay. So you don't proof the yeast or?
You don't need to.
Okay then.
That's instant.
Yeah, this is instant.
You just.
I bake less than you.
And
I know that.
and I usually use warm water when I'm kneading, so it proofs it faster.
So you mix everything together.
You go ahead
all
and
the
mix it
dry.
up. Yes. Combine it.
Okay.
And then I make a well.
Okay. You make that well.
And I'm adding 1/4 pounds of vegetable shortening.
1/4 pound of vegetable shortening. Okay. That's in.
And then a
That's not
tablespoon of vanilla.
Okay.
She does this like this is
Yeah,
everyday
like-
thing for her. Right?
Okay.
And then for liquid. I put in the coconut powder, but you can mix it in the water if you choose
Okay. So you
but
put
it
the
still
water in.
comes
It's
up
the
to the
same
same thing.
thing.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's it. This is where the love goes in.
Yes. You have to knead it up properly.
So I see you breaking up the shortening as you add your
Yes.
liquid.
You can add raisins if you like raisins,
Love
or
it.
mixed fruit. You could even put in mixed fruit if you want it fancy.
Oh, smells so good.
It smells good, yeah. Look at that. How do you judge the amount of water you have to put in or?
That's it. There's no judgment for the liquid. You just have to put in until you feel it. That's why I rather do it with my hands, so you can feel the consistency.
Oh yeah.
So how much did you start with? You started with what, 1 cup?
It's like a cup and a half I
Cup
started
and a half.
with.
Okay.
All right.
That's where the experience comes
Yeah.
in.
So while you're mixing that up, where can we find you, or how can we get our share of Easter cross bun?
Well, I stopped taking orders now.
You're all alone.
But
so, like, you write down the recipe, right?
I've been advertising for a while, so yeah. I am located in Coral Grove.
Okay.
And so people can contact me for catering or cakes at 628-6225.
Okay.
Also, they can check out my page.
So let's show people what this consistency looks like. Because you stop adding water?
No.
We're going to add just a little
Just
more?
a little to the,
Yeah, to catch those
to the dry.
Okay, so leave it more.
Alright.
And when you're kneading, it's important to always have a little bit of
Flour.
extra flour in case you need to add when you're kneading it up.
Yeah, so you get that consistency
Yeah,
you
if
want.
in case you get a little sticky, yeah, you can add
Okay. You were telling us your Facebook page. If
yeah, Amanda's Catering.
All right, easy, easy.
Yeah.
So you've been doing this for some while.
Yeah, for a little while now.
Okay.
A couple, well, not couple, but a good amount of years.
Okay. There you go.
Alright.
Let's
So
check
let's
that
see,
out.
that's what that looks like so far. We're getting there, we're getting there, we're getting there. Alright. So you want this to look smooth, right?
Yes, you want it smooth. It doesn't have to be really, really smooth, because the beauty with bun is not like pearl bread that you have to make sure you knead it until it's smooth.
Smooth, yeah.
The bun, it doesn't have to be that smooth.
Yeah.
Okay.
That has a bit of texture with
Yes.
it. Yeah.
And I was wondering why you use brown sugar.
Yeah, because the brown sugar helps give it the color. And I think it gives it this as well, because it has the molasses.
Okay.
Yeah. It wouldn't be the same with the white sugar.
Okay.
And this is a traditional Easter bun that you'll put a little more sugar. So if you want it lighter, you can use half pound of sugar instead of the 3/4 pound.
Okay.
Oh, that makes it softer.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
I had a trip, sorry.
You
Just loving
need to
this.
try- I mean, she needs so effortlessly.
Yeah. And I always wonder how people want to come out so round. And mine just look like a map.
Okay. No, maybe.
All right.
There you go. I helped my cross.
Look, but the spice is just nice. You could smell it, you know?
Yes.
I really like that. I really like that. All right.
If you don't put in your right spices, then you'll just have sweet bread.
That's true.
That's
not true.
And you know what? I can tell that yours are going to be nice and brown.
Yeah.
Yes, because the vanilla and the cinnamon gives it the color.
Okay.
So
Some
when
brown
you-
sugar, I think I don't want to eat.
Yeah, that
That's
does
it?
too. Yeah, so when you finish
Look
knead
at
that up,
Uh-huh.
That's when a master needs. John and I would have been all here all day long.
yeah, so you leave this now to double in size.
Okay,
So this pan would be almost full before you knead it down again, and then you leave it to rest maybe 10 minutes again.
Okay.
Let it come up back a little. Then you cut it up in the portion size that you want.
Yeah.
Start rolling them. Or if you don't want to roll them, you can do them in the curly bun style. A lot of people like to do
Oh,
that.
you do the spiral one,
You
yeah.
wrong it
Yeah,
and then
so-
you do it, you know.
Let me.
We're gonna. So
Yeah.
it's supposed to proof. Every baker at
Yes.
home knows that.
Ta-da.
It's supposed to
Yes.
proof.
Supposed to
Let's
proof.
just pretend that it's proofed already, and we'll fast
Yes.
forward time here. And you're gonna show us how to get that nice smooth bun.
So that's not fair, man. How you wrong it so nice. Look
What is
at
it? Like you use the
Yeah,
bottom
man.
as a base? Let me
Yes.
Try 'em, try 'em.
Just put a little flour in the bottom of your arm.
Okay, well that will help, right?
Yes.
All right. And I know exactly what everyone is saying at home. Yes, I should have taken off everything on my hand. All right. So you just
Just roll it. Just continue rolling it until. Just continue rolling it until it becomes a ball.
Okay.
Okay.
Is that?
Yeah, you get there.
You know what? You'll flatten it as well, so it doesn't really matter if you get a perfect circle.
And you're being so kind to me, Amanda. There you go. That looks more
Yeah,
round,
that
right?
looks good,
There you
that
go. All right, good.
So Amanda, the first proof after you finish kneading it out, what's the first proof? How long? What's the duration?
It depends. Like for this,
Mhm.
this will take maybe an hour because it has more sugar.
Okay, so 1 hour.
But a lighter one would take half an hour to 45 minutes.
Okay.
And then when it proofs, you can start.
You start the thing.
Yeah.
So after you wrung it out, do you have to let it proof again?
Yes.
Okay, for how long?
There's 3 proofing time. This when you just finish kneading it, and then when it comes up, you knead it a little again, leave it, let it proof, then you cut it, roll it off into your desired shape, let it proof again, then you, if it's the wrong one, then you flatten it a little,
Okay.
put it in the pan, let it proof again
Okay.
until it doubles.
So, do you make it proof with the cross on it?
Yes.
Okay.
I usually, to be sure that I'll have a cross for everyone, when I roll off one, I take off a little piece, I put it aside. So that's for each. Yes.
That's so smart.
Because-
Because then you'll just have like a spice bun. All right, I made my cross. Now this is the debate, right? Did you know, what's your preference? Do you put the cross on top?
Yes.
There's my hot cross bun. Well. This is mine and not Amanda's work. Please be sure of that, right? Now I know some people, there are different ways. Some people cut the cross, and some people roll the cross on top.
Oh yes, I've seen that. I've seen
I
that.
prefer doing it like that.
You do it with the cross on top.
I put the cross because that's actually like an additional snack. You pop that on first.
Yes, true. Because that proofs as well. And then you can just take it off and eat that first. And so the other, for the curly, for the curly one, then you will make it.
All right.
Like that.
And then you show me.
Some flour, here you go. Oh yeah, you have to roll out a bit to get smooth.
Okay, yeah. All right.
See your work here.
Okay. Then you.
Oh, you put little dents.
Yes. You can, if you choose to. If not, you just roll it up. And you take the end and stuck it underneath.
That's it.
And then you can put your cross on it as well.
There you go.
And then
that's basically it.
Following all of that, you actually get a finished product.
Yes.
All right.
All right. So let's see TV
Into the oven. Yes.
magic. This is what it would look like. You leave it. This is, of course, we are playing with unproofed dough. I gotta say that much.
And ta-da!
Yeah.
Oh.
That is the finished product.
But I can't help but to notice that the top is shiny.
Yes, I do make a glaze for it.
Smells so good. Look at that.
So there's
we got the spiral one, and we got
this
the
is the spiral one, and that is the wrong one.
So people can see that there. This one.
Look at that, yes.
There's a simple glaze that you can make with just a cup of water and a cup of sugar, and put it in a small pot. Let it boil until it dilutes. And then you
until it turns syrup.
Yes. And then you can just brush it on the top.
Yeah.
I have my own method. I won't share that.
I was gonna say, save some secrets, girl. Because Jenna tried to be a competition after this.
Excited, you know.
So, okay, are you raisin or no raisin in bun?
Raisin for me.
Yes,
raisin.
me too.
More than every island.
Yeah, I think it has to have raisin.
Yeah.
And your cross on top or cut cross?
Cross on top.
Cross on top?
Yes.
Yeah. I kind of like the cut cross too. Yeah, I know. But I love the cross on top.
Yeah,
when you can pop it off.
The cut cross is sharp, man.
Yeah. I think when you cut the cross on top too, sometimes it could allow the bun to burst as well. The integrity of
That
it.
is true. I never thought about that. I just try to figure out like how you do it and keep that shape. I guess that's what fascinates me about it.
Yeah. But I don't know about you guys, but this one they call me.
Go right ahead. Go right ahead. I made sure they were warm so you can try it in its
And you
precious
eat
state.
it with
cheese.
Cheese.
Bun and cheese.
That's right. Whatever you choose, or just a cup of coffee and your bun.
Yeah, that's the way it is.
Yeah.
I definitely have coffee, so now I got my fun. This has been so much fun. One day I'll be able to knead like you as easy as that.
Yeah, that's so good.
I'm sure you can if you really want to.
And I know everyone was writing down that recipe so they can try it at home.
All right.
Hot cross bun.
Hot cross bun for the Easter. There is no Easter without hot cross bun.
Yeah, it makes
And Amanda,
Easter complete.
We're so thankful that we had you in this morning. Like you mentioned, you're booked out solid for the Easter. Nothing. Can't
But
make
if
a pig in a blanket.
Yes, that's like food you can get, but for bun and potato pong and stuff like that, I'm cut off for that.
Okay. All right. And your page again, Facebook?
Amanda's Catering.
In Belize City.
Yes, in Belize City, Coral Grove area.
All right.
Well, Amanda, we're so thankful once again. Wishing you and your family a happy and safe Easter.
Thank you.
We're about to take a break. When we come back, we'll be wrapping things up. But
And we got a giveaway coming up.
Yes, we got a giveaway, so we'll do that when we come back.
In these challenging times, the one thing that is certain is that the Belize Bank Limited is here for you. There is nothing more important than your health and safety. And we continue to make every effort to make banking safer for you. Our staff is working around the clock to make sure you can do your banking conveniently 24/7 using our mobile banking app and online banking and keeping ATMs up and running. We value your relationship with us and are here to provide the support you need. First responders are also out there 24/7. Thank you, healthcare workers, security forces, firefighters, caregivers. You are all appreciated. Stay safe. We will get through this together. The Belize Bank, our country, your bank.
Hello Belize. You may not be aware of the new travel requirements set in place by the Center of Disease Control and Prevention. Passengers traveling to the U.S. must present a negative COVID test or a documentation of having recovered from COVID-19 to travel to the U.S. In light of this, Maya, in partnership with Caring Hands Clinic, have established testing centers in all their municipal airports. Caring Hands Antigen Test Center is operational in San Pedro, Belize City, Dangrega, Placencia, and Hopkins. These testing facilities are staffed by licensed healthcare professionals, including doctors, registered nurses, and nurse practitioners. Testing is done using Abbott rapid test devices that are FDA approved and made in the USA. The service is safe, fast, affordable, and the close proximity of the centers makes them convenient. Walk-ins are welcomed, but appointments are encouraged. If you would like to make an appointment, please feel free to do so at Make your appointment, get tested, and in 15 minutes, you can get back to your vacation.
Hello? Okay, sure, I'll be there.
Hi, Mommy. When are you coming home? I really miss you.
Hearing the voice of our loved ones can always lift our spirits and make us feel whole again. With Smart's Twice as Nice promotion, prepaid customers who make 5 minutes worth of national calls on Sundays can enjoy 50% off. Top double on all national calls for the rest of the day. Call your loved ones and enjoy half off all day long. Smart, bringing people together.
COVID-19 is an infectious disease caused by a new coronavirus introduced to humans for the first time. It is spread from person to person, mainly through the droplets produced when an infected person speaks, coughs, or sneezes. These droplets can land in the mouths or noses of people who are nearby. These droplets are too heavy to travel far in the air. They only travel approximately 1 meter and quickly settle on surfaces. This is the reason person-to-person spread is happening mainly between close contacts. The exact time that the virus can survive on surfaces is not yet known. So it is wise to clean surfaces regularly, particularly in the vicinity of people infected with COVID-19. Hands touch many surfaces, which can be contaminated with the virus. You should therefore avoid touching your eyes, nose, or mouth, since contaminated hands can transfer the virus from the surface to yourself. When coughing or sneezing, cover your mouth and nose with the bend of your elbow or use a disposable tissue. If a tissue is used, discard it immediately into a closed bin. The most effective way to prevent the spread of the new coronavirus is to clean your hands frequently with an alcohol-based hand rub or soap and water. This will eliminate the virus if it is on your hands. Stay healthy and prevent the spread of COVID-19.
And we're back.
Just like that, we are back. And I'll tell you what, we've got not one, but two giveaways right here, right now.
Easter basket.
Easter basket.
For free.
And $50. That $50?
A $50 gift certificate from Bottom Dollar, right? So get on the live right now because we're going to be asking some questions. And the first person to post the correct answer is going to walk away with one of the prizes.
All right. So the first question says.
All right. Are you on yet? Get on Facebook, Open Your Eyes BZ, and you can be able to participate.
Yes.
First correct answer
Wins the first
prize,
which is the gift
Easter
basket. Yes. All right. So name 2 ingredients used in preparing the treats this morning. That's the first one.
All right. So we made a bunch of stuff, right?
We made a bunch of stuff this morning. Name 2 ingredients used in preparing the treats this morning.
All right, so keep on. Remember, you guys were. Tell us. Get on. Open Your Eyes, BZ, and tell us the first answer to the questions to the first answers to the first question. I'm hopped up on sugar from the bun, which I finished, by the way.
The bun was good.
So good.
Yes.
Easter basket. 2 ingredients used for the snacks we made this morning.
So that's for the first question. We'll ask the second question when we get the first winner, or
no, we're gonna move on.
We're gonna move on. All right. So here we go with
this one is for the $50 gift certificate
at Bottom Dollar. All right. Name 2 items in the adult basket. Easy as that. Name 2 items in the adult basket, and you win yourself a $50 gift certificate.
We showcased an adult basket this morning. I'll give you a hint. It was the green one. Now tell us 2 things that you saw in there this morning.
All you need to do is tell us that. You win yourself a $50 gift certificate.
I'm not going to pick the winner. I'm not monitoring. The producer's going to tell us that, so please don't blame me if you don't win.
Yeah.
But we want to thank you. You know, we want to thank everyone who popped in this morning. Some key messages that we do want you to walk away with. We are not out of the woods yet with COVID. And as we prepare for the Easter weekend, we want to ensure that you do know that the regulations are still in place. That the expectations of you maintaining your part of the responsibility here in being able to keep the mask wearing up, washing your hands, and of course social distancing.
And of course, when it's your time or when it's your phase to take your COVID vaccine, please go on out and take your vaccine. Today, actually, at 11 o'clock, we will be showcasing to you live on Channel 5 as we receive from the COVAX facility 33,000 vaccine. And it's definitely something that we're looking forward to. So that's coming up at 11 o'clock this morning. Again, the first question, once again, name 2 ingredients used in preparing the treats this morning. You'll be winning.
We got winners.
Basket. All right, so we got winners.
Winners are for the basket. Frankie Stein, you just won yourself a Easter basket courtesy of Bottom Dollar. And the $50 gift certificate goes to Luz Rosado. Luz was paying keen attention to that adult basket. I guess that means you get to go and make your own now, right?
All right. So congratulations to the winners. You could pick those up right here. I'm supposing we could pick those up right here at Channel 5. Bring along your ID so we could verify that it's you. And of course, you walk away with those prizes. But it was a wonderful morning once again. Without you, it's not possible. If you've got questions, any concerns at all, drop us a line at oye@channel5belize.com.
And you can find us on Facebook at Open Your Eyes BZ and on Instagram at OYEBelize.
Hey, it is a smooth, hopefully it continues to be a smooth Easter week. We'd like for you to join us tomorrow morning again when you open your eyes.
To start the morning right.
As per usual, keep your eyes, your mind,
and your hearts open. We'll see you soon. Enjoy your day.
Open Your Eyes was brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.